Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Your screen was like going all over the place.
Oh,
No,
it's back to
you're
normal.
already
Okay.
fixed. You're already fixed. We're back.
All right.
Yeah, no, we could start. I don't even know if anybody even heard anything, because I don't know how much of a cache OBS keeps until it reconnects. Sometimes it keeps the whole thing, depending on how long it takes.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and then it's like the whole stream is like delayed.
Yeah. But the reason we didn't do it before is because at least prior to the fiber, at your old setup, we were considering that, but you were having just as many disconnection issues as I was. And then after the fiber, it never came back up that we should have been trying that. But I can get you like some assets or whatever, and then we can run it from your end. It would be more stable. There's even a playlist. You can play like basically the same songs I always play. There's a massive playlist that I follow on YouTube. That's just like every single OC remix song. As soon as a new one comes out, they just add another one to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that though. To save bandwidth, I actually have everything that I play locally saved on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I get you the stuff. It would be a lot more stable, at least in my current setup.
Yeah, I don't have fiber now anymore.
But it's still more stable.
Share. Yeah, I don't share internet with anyone else, and it's it does have 35. Actually, I did a test the other day, and it got about 40 megs up.
Yeah.
So that's better than advertised.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm getting less than that and sharing with people. And it's still normally not the problem, but the internet's also inconsistent as fuck. So, like, I could be on by myself, and all of a sudden I'm getting horrible disconnections.
Yeah. Well, plus, even though I'm on Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi router is about 10 feet that way. Yeah. So it's really close.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like, I should have been getting you some of these assets a long time ago anyway. Just because, regardless of how things are, a problem could always come up, and it's just easier if everybody involved is able to run it from their end.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which...
Yeah.
Shoot, the name has eluded me. There is a Comicsgate creator. Oh, that's funny. It has a screenshot of me, like, your automatic tweet that goes out. It has the screenshot of me all screwed up.
Oh, that's funny.
There's a Comicsgate creator who got COVID about a month ago, maybe more than like a month and a half ago, and has been in the hospital for this whole time for about a month and a half.
Wow. Who is it?
And damn it. I knew you were going to ask me that. I want to get the name, but he reminded me because apparently he has a show that he does on YouTube, and basically his co-host has been running it for the month and a half. And with really no information on how he's doing, except that he was on a ventilator for a while, and the name is Ethan Van Skype. No, just kidding.
No. I think everybody would have known that.
Here we go. Luke Stone Studio. Have you heard of Luke Stone?
No, I have not. But to be fair, I haven't heard of most people.
Yeah, I actually don't. I mean, I guess I'd heard of him. I guess apparently we follow each other on Twitter. But someone mentioned, by the way, how's Luke Stone Studio doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while. Oh, yeah. He disappeared a month and a half ago.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate, though. Yeah. I'm mutuals with a lot of people I've never heard of.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, just wanted to, just say, I don't know, thoughts and prayers or whatever you're supposed to say, but to Luke Stone and his family. Hopefully he'll recover and come back. But
yeah,
he's been in the hospital for a month and a half, so that's rough.
Month and a half, that is rough. Like, I hate being in a hospital, even as a visitor, for like 5 minutes, let alone being in one for a month and a half. That must be hell, being sick surrounded by people. I mean, at least be attended. That's important, but still, like,
Yeah. So hopefully it will get better. It's a little scary to be, on a ventilator for that long, or however long he's been on a ventilator. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
Apparently we are
dangerous,
still
too. Like ventilators, because they could tear up your lungs with the way that COVID is. But like, it's a necessity. You have to do it. So it's like it's a big risk. You're
Yeah.
lucky with everything.
Yeah, I've noticed just in the last, since I've been very mildly ill the last few days, I've been a little bit short of breath lately, mostly when I'm like trying to sleep and stuff, but obviously nothing to worry about. So hopefully that'll go away, and probably could lose some weight too.
Yeah, you can
I'm
never
sure that
complain
doesn't
about
help.
that unless you're
Yeah.
some nutritionally deprived kid in some third world country. You're probably the only person on the planet that really shouldn't be losing weight, but
Yeah. Yeah, being overweight makes you short of breath a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
being overweight makes almost everything in life worse.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
Gotta get on something. The eat less, exercise more diet.
Oh yeah, the classic. Yeah. the surefire proven way to actually turn things around.
Yeah, exactly. I've lost weight before. I've lost up to like 45 pounds in one sort of like 6-month period.
Yeah.
By eating less and exercising more. That's all I did.
Well, have you at least been going on walks? Have you found a route you like in your new place?
No. I should. I gotta get out more.
I went on a walk before setting up. It's awful though. I like to walk barefoot. It's usually not a problem. Very tough feet. Stepped on a bee today. I walked it off, but it's like, man, that sting was sorely uncomfortable.
And you walk in bare feet.
Yeah.
Why, Metal? Why?
I
Put
like
on some
walking
goddamn shoes.
It was fine though. Like all it did was it was annoying, stepping on a bee. I actually felt more bad because I don't like killing bees. They're very useful, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah. I stepped on a bee when I was a child, walking around in bare feet like a child.
Hey, I've got really
Actually
tough
did
feet.
that
I'll
one.
let you know. Like, I can walk on most things, like even most sharp things, and I don't even notice. Like, if like a thorn or something gets into like a really odd spot, occasionally it will puncture.
Mhm.
But I actually went through, like last week, I went a hike in the woods with my brothers and one of our friends. And I went through the whole hike in the woods barefoot. Perfectly fine, too. Like, I didn't come out torn up or anything. And at one point, like, I didn't even notice. Apparently, I had kicked some bramble. And my other brother just looked at me. He's like, you are tough shit for that. I'm like, tough shit for what?
Yeah. You know what I should do? I just thought of this.
Yeah.
I should get Ring Fit Adventure.
You should.
Right.
That'd be great for you. A lot of people lose weight doing that.
Let me do a demonstration here.
You got a lot of room back there.
I know. How much room do you need for it? I'd have to adjust the camera or whatever, but I mean, I can live stream it. I mean,
You probably have enough space for most of the activities. I don't know what your floor space looks like. There's a couple that are like crunches and stuff where you need to actually like sit down full length on the floor. But you're probably
I can
fine.
do that.
Yeah.
There's me sitting down with my feet all the way out.
Yeah, you might have enough. You could probably do it.
Crunches. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see me, but yeah, I could do crunches.
Yeah, as long as you're not banging your head into shit, you're probably fine.
We should do that. I should do that.
Yeah. I'll
need
come
to
in
get
and
a
encourage you
scale.
while I'm working on pages and stuff.
Yeah, I need to get a scale because I don't even have a scale and find out how much I weigh. I bet you I weigh more now than I ever have in my life because I'm looking at myself. I'm like,
do.
holy shit, I'm fat. Like, and I bet you I could lose 50 pounds. I bet you.
I know for a fact I weigh the most I've ever weighed in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am just shy of 140 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Which is light, but
weigh,
we also look at my height too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I weigh more than 240.
Yeah, I would guess that. But you're also
probably
tall.
about, yeah, I'm 6 feet. But I bet you I weigh about 250 right now. So I could stand to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So
80 to 100 pounds. I mean, it's good to set goals. Rick, it's good to set goals.
So yeah.
You could do it if you wanted to.
If I get a scale, I want to get a scale so I can tell how much I'm losing. And
The important thing, though, is to not set your goals too quickly, right? Because like a lot of people get discouraged because they're expecting to lose even just 20 pounds in the course of a month, which is possible. But the faster you lose the weight, the more likely it's not going to stick. It's better to just like shed off weight over long periods of time healthily because your metabolism adjusts to your weight. And if you lose it slowly, then also like your diet, the amount of food you want to eat daily will also slowly adjust to it. And it won't be like, I lost 50 pounds in 3 months. Watch me gain it back this Thanksgiving because I still eat like a fat person.
yeah, well, I watch a lot of Scott Adams.
Yeah.
And one of the things he says is don't set goals, create systems.
Yes. But the thing is like that's kind of like a misnomer in a way too, right? Because to create a good system, you need to set goals, right? So they need to work in tandem. What I would modify that is don't set any goals that doesn't come with a system change.
Yeah. Well, when I did lose weight several years ago, that actually took a long time to gain back. I didn't gain it back right away.
Yeah.
I was exercising every day and I was only eating when I was hungry. Really, I cut out any. I just had set meals and didn't eat anything else in between. And
yeah. Well, it's kind of like the idea is some people are like, you just need to cut out sugar. It's like, well, I'm not going to say don't. That's actually a smart idea to live through life. You'll probably feel better in the long term if you cut out most sugars from your life. But at the same time, it's like the sugar's really not the thing doing it to you. If I'm going to be honest, for most of you out there, the sugar's not the thing doing to it. It's the high amount of sugar and just the overall lifestyle. Because you could be thin and still be consuming a lot of sugar if you're also like extremely active as well. There's a lot of different factors in there. But I'm not going to tell anybody to cut sugar out of their diet altogether if they're gung-ho for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, what I found is I have to not necessarily take joy in eating. Not that I have to torture myself, but have that not be one of the things that is a sort of a primary source of pleasure.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, eating is a primary source of pleasure. Yeah, you kind of have to change your mindset and be like, you know what? Like, being able to walk upstairs without getting winded is going to be my source of pleasure, Looking good. Having people see me and be like, oh man, you look great. That could be a major source of pleasure, that sort of thing. So just have to look at eating as something you just have to do and just don't make it a central part of your life.
See, I don't think I have a problem with that because I love food. Don't get me wrong. I love food. I can tell you palettes and stuff that I like cooking stuff, but I've never gone out of my way to eat something for pleasure. I just always ate a lot because I was always fucking hungry. Because I have very fast metabolism. You see how skinny I am. I eat a lot, not because I want to, but because it's man, I need to put something in my stomach right now or else I'm going to run out of energy soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I hear a lot of people, it's just eating is one of their favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me at least. I'm not saying this is the answer for everyone, but for me, the key in the past has been to completely change my mindset about eating and have it just not be one of the things I take pleasure in. And again, not saying that I'm torturing myself, but just be like, eating is just something I got to do every once in a while, like going to the bathroom, you know. But I'm not going to make that a central part of my life or central part of my day.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I've always planned my snacks around stuff like that because being hungry all the time. Like, I'll buy a lot of fruit and I'll leave it out and I'll be like, what vitamin have I not eaten in a while? B, okay, I'm gonna go take like a plum or something.
Yeah.
You know, like that's always how I plan my snacks.
I should have more fruit in my house so I can, you know, if I am hungry or, you know, honestly, most of the time when I eat, when a lot of people eat just like a snack, it's because they're bored, not hungry. So, you know,
maybe
when I'm bored, I should have fruit that I reach for instead of cookies.
Yeah, I've told people, like, there's somebody I know, I mean, I'm not dropping anybody's names, I don't want to embarrass people, but there's somebody I know who's been, like, stress eating a lot or whatever, right? I say it's like, listen, you're stress eating not because you're hungry. Then you should just change what you're stress eating until that goes away. And what I recommend is maybe stress eating something like iceberg lettuce, because that is very empty and it'll fill up your stomach fast. And you're not going to, like, gain any weight from stress eating lettuce.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that I'm just thinking about this period of a year or so when I lost a lot of weight. I had a lot of celery, like, on hand all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just, you know,
so
reach for that whenever. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to it. It's just water, basically, and roughage. It hardly has any calories. I've heard celery has negative calories. It basically takes more calories to burn.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But it's kind of that case where you're probably going to be spending more to eat it than not. But then people go and ruin that. It's like, okay, I'm going to go eat celery. And then they'll put, like, peanut butter or ranch or something on there. It's like, what? Dude, I fucking hate it. Like, I'll see somebody make a salad and then they'll drown it in, like, ranch dressing. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not doing anything here. You know, I actually eat salads a lot because I like the stuff that goes in them. And I always have, like, a protein in my salad. So, like, one thing I call it a meatball salad. I'll have, like, a bunch of roughage, like spinach, spring mix, something like that in there. Then I'll go and I'll put in, like, some other things, maybe a tomato or whatever, chop that up. Then I'll go cook some meatballs up and throw that into the salad. Right? Because it's like a Mediterranean mix, right? Like, they kind of go together. And then I'll take, like, instead of putting salad dressing on it, because I don't like any of that thick stuff, I don't even put a vinaigrette. I'll literally take some red wine vinegar and I'll just sprinkle that on the top of everything. And then I'll, with a fork, just eat it, you know?
Yeah. I like a tablespoon of, like, vegetable oil or canola oil.
That's good too.
And then a teaspoon of lemon juice. Yeah. And then maybe some garlic powder or something like that. Just all that.
What I don't get, unless you're like a vegetarian or something, I don't get people who eat salads without protein. And this might be why a lot of people don't like salads. Like, if you go to a restaurant, you don't need to put protein on it because it's probably going to come on the side of a protein dish you already have. That's fine. But if you're just eating, like, a salad, this is why chicken salads exist, or fish salads. It's like, they come with a protein in there. Yeah. I don't get it. It's like,
I don't need that.
This isn't a meal.
I mean, I like putting some croutons in there, maybe a chopped up tomato, or something like that. But I don't. No, I mean, I understand. I've definitely had a salad with, like, chicken or
like a steak
ham
on
or
the
something
side,
like
right? As well.
Yeah.
A Yoda restaurant, you get a steak, comes with a salad. It's like, okay, I don't have to mix the proteins, but I'm still eating it with a protein. Like, it's just like an empty meal if you don't have a protein with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway. So yeah, I think now that I'm settled in, now would be a good time to lose some weight.
Yeah.
Yes, pastry came in. We were talking about having fruit on hand whenever we wanted to snack.
Bananas. Unless somebody is allergic to bananas, they should have bananas. Bananas are basically like all of your daily vitamins, like, and minerals right there. Potassium, little bit of iron, but not a lot. But they've got like magnesium and zinc in them too. Bananas are great. People should be eating more bananas if they can.
Yes.
And they're great for old people who have no teeth anymore.
I won't have that problem. Never had a cavity.
Yeah. Banana pudding. I love banana pudding.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I actually had banana pudding the other day.
Oh, with the banana bread and everything in it?
Oh, so good. No, it had like Nilla wafers.
Nilla wafers?
It's from a restaurant, so.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Like, I love it when somebody makes it homemade. Like, you can still put Nilla wafers in homemade, but like when you actually have like chunks of banana bread put into the banana pudding, that's the best.
Never tried that.
Yeah, that's how they make it in the South. I don't know, man.
Really?
That's how I've had it all my life. Yeah, like people would just bring it to the church and be like, "Here's some banana pudding," and I'll scoop in. It's like there's bread in here. It's like mixing bread pudding, but with bananas.
Yeah, I've actually never tried that.
Yeah. Again, you know, take less pleasure in eating, but it's something you should try sometime.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the occasional treat.
Yeah. But, you know, I think that is the right attitude, though, because if you look historically, right, through, like, religious practices and everything, you didn't eat for fun, right? Eating was a necessity, and there's, like, that whole act of, like, saying grace or whatever. Like, eating was such a rare thing to make sure you happened every single day that you had to be thankful for every single meal that you had. And I think, like, even though, like, we're in abundance of food now, like, it's hard in a civilized place. Well, I know we might be having food shortages soon, but for the longest time, it's been hard in a civilized place to go without eating, that I think a lot of people forget that they should be thankful for everything that goes down their throat. Yes, that double entendre was intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so much food. It's so easy to get. I can have it delivered to my door without leaving my seat.
No, I'm still thankful for everything I eat. I think it also comes from like being very, very poor growing up. That there were days that I'd go without eating. That I'm just like, oh yes, food. Oh, thank the heavens, food.
Yeah. Peach grew up extremely poor as well, and it's kind of, you know, funny. She has these certain things that she does. Like, she always has to have what she calls backup bread.
Yeah.
In the freezer. Always a loaf of bread in the freezer that you don't touch. You never touch, but it has to be there just in case.
You don't touch until you get another one to replace it. Then that can be the main bread.
Exactly. It's only if you run out of food and you have no other options, you got a loaf of bread.
I always had like on the back wall, there'd be like just stacks of cans that were like stuff we didn't normally eat, but if we ran out of other things, it's like, I know we don't really like green beans, but it's still food, you know? Like we'd have dehydrated milk and stuff like that too.
Yeah. And it's like, it's like literally impossible. You're never going to run out of food. It's just not ever going to happen, but it doesn't matter. She has to have the backup bread.
Oh, yeah.
And then, And it's things like, you know, she grew up like, she's always a smoker, and she used to gather up all the little bits at the end of the, you know, when you're done smoking a cigarette, what's left, and she doesn't do this anymore.
Yeah,
it's a challenge for her to not do this, but she doesn't do this anymore.
My parents
gather it up and then wrap it up, and you got another cigarette. Yeah, things like that. She doesn't go quite that far, but she thinks about it.
We always had our equally our emergency bag of rice that we did not touch, because it's like,
Smart.
There's a 20-pound bag of rice sitting there. If we run out of the ability to eat, that 20-pound bag of rice can go pretty far as just like some carbs to get us through the day if necessary.
And in a pinch, if you drop your iPhone in the toilet, you can put it in the rice and it'll dry right up. It'll ruin the rice, but still.
Yeah. Like, I know, man. Like, I've been there. I'm still there to some degree. Like, even when things are better, it's like the mindset never really leaves.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, like, this time, well, not this time, but last summer, I went for several days without eating because I literally had no money, not a penny to my name. But I don't think it affected me very much because I was already an adult in my 40s. I already set in my ways.
Yeah.
It didn't really affect me, which I guess is sort of unfortunate, but sort of fortunate in ways. So, but yeah, when you grow up like that, it's like ingrained forever.
Oh yeah, it's like I'll go out for pizza with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like it ticks me, and like, oh yeah, it's fine. They didn't grow up that way. But I'll like finish the entire slice, including the crust, and I'll see people just like leaving the crust on their plate. And even if the crust is too hard,
pizza crust?
What?
Pizza crust is the best part.
I know, but there's people who don't. And like I guess especially some people, if they lived in a very, very good life, they didn't have to eat every single thing, right? So they would just leave it there. And even if the crust is too hard, I eat it. I'll dip it in my soda or something to soften it up, and then I'll still eat it to get it. It's not, people used to dip bread in wine way back in the day before bread was soft. People forget that bread used to be hard. For like most of history, bread was hard.
Bread was like your plate.
Yeah, almost.
Basically. You put all the stuff on the bread because the bread was like a rock.
Yeah, and if you just had like a small dinner roll size loaf or whatever that they would serve, you'd be dipping into your water or your wine to soften it up. That's what people did. It's like once you know that too, the whole communion scene in the New Testament makes a lot more sense with the whole bread and wine and everything and how it's described. But like modern people are like, that's weird. It's like, no, that's just how history was. So it's like, if my crust is too hard, I can't be wasteful. I can't waste the crust. I dip it in my soda or whatever to soften it up, whatever I have there, and then I'll eat it. And everybody just has their like hard crust on the plate, and it's just weird to me because like I grew up in the circumstance where that wasn't a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me, did you ever read Pinocchio?
Yes.
Like the original?
Yes.
You remember that in the beginning, he gets an apple and he peels the apple, like he doesn't eat the peeling, then he eats it, and then he's like, that's all he had? So he ends up eating the peeling, and then in the end he ends up eating the core of the apple because that's all he had to eat.
Yeah. Well, the peeling, aside from the core, technically the most nutrients in apple is in the core, but there's also like small levels of, I think, is it arsenic or cyanide? One of those deadly ones. It might be cyanide. There's like small levels of poison in there too. The skin is actually the most healthy thing you can eat. Of an apple.
That always stuck with me when I read Pinocchio, and it was like, man, he was so poor. He not only, I mean, obviously, it never occurred to me to skin an apple. I always eat the peel. But he not only ate that when he didn't want to, he ended up eating the core of the apple because
that's all he had.
There's nothing else to eat. So
bread and soda is not that weird. It seems weird because you've never had to do it. But like, again, historically, it's not that far off from just like dipping your bread in wine or water, like whatever your drink is at the time. Like, if you were to show somebody from like, well, first you have to explain to somebody in the 15th century what soda is. But if they saw you just drinking it, they might assume bubbles, maybe it's some type of alcohol, right? So that they saw you dipping the crust of a pizza or some type of bread product in soda, they wouldn't question it. It's like he's dipping his bread in his wine. What's wrong with that? It's the modern day. That's the problem.
Well, for anyone else watching, I did get this in the mail. So we'll be doing a live stream of that eventually after I beat Dread.
Yeah.
After I beat
to explain what he's talking about, it is the Super Mario 64 Lego set with the big question mark block. Since some people will be listening to this later and can't see the thing behind him on the
sorry. Yes, the Super Mario 64 question mark block Lego set.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. Maybe later this week.
I think is less impressive than the NES one, but it's still cool little display set, and it will still take quite a bit of time to make. It's just, it's not as cool as like, oh, this thing opens, you can push down. There's this like TV that rotates and everything.
Yeah. I gotta remember to rotate that TV every once in a while because the last time I did it, it kept getting stuck, and I think it probably just says it has like dust in it or something.
Yeah. It's kind of like another thing that people call weird, I guess now, even though it was kind of semi-popular at the time thanks to Laverne and Shirley. But it's like when you bring up Pepsi milk or like mixing Coke and milk or something together, right?
Oh, I saw that the other day. Pilk. Oh.
Yeah, but that actually is a thing. People drink, right?
Doesn't it curdle the milk?
No, it does not immediately. Actually, if anything, it stops it from curdling a little longer when you mix milk with something, right? Because you change the chemical composition of it.
That does not look good.
But it's like, have you ever had a root beer float?
Yeah.
It's actually not that far off from a root beer float.
All right.
Yeah. So it's like your initial reaction to it is kind of like, but then like you consider it's like, well, I mean, root beer floats are a thing, and people like root beer floats, and like I know people put their creamer in their diet soda and stuff like that. It's like I don't judge. It's the thing people do.
Yeah, I have to admit, like vanilla ice cream melted into like Coke or Pepsi or whatever.
Yeah,
it is pretty good.
You're just putting cream and soda. Cream soda is a thing that people like the taste of cream with their soda. It's like it's not that far of a stretch. People, it's like if you don't start putting two and two together, though, it's like that just initial reaction that gets you of seeing something like that.
Yeah, that was my initial reaction.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay, I think 5 to 6 minutes is more than enough to make up for the drop that we had earlier. So, thanks for watching the show. If you enjoy it, please share it with somebody else who might like it. And if you really enjoy it, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/Vomitorium live. It helps with all of the monthly fees, including the, it happens later. I always have to make sure, like, everything's fine. But the, Roll20 payment just hit, like, yesterday. Conveniently on the time that we were playing, so that was cool. But yeah, it helps out with everything we do over here. And in the meantime, we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.